All right, should we get started? So this is going to be just a quick kind of chat with Mr. Farihan here. For those of you guys who don't know Farihan, maybe you would know his t-shirt. Has anybody seen Papa the Man t-shirts? The man, the myth, legend? Yeah? Show of hands? Cool. Wow, a lot. You see? You're famous. How he found this much success and a little bit more insight into your story. So the first question is a bit of a self-introduction, or would you like me to introduce? Yeah? So, from Singapore, graphic designer by trade, yeah? Military background for a little bit, 2 years military. And then you were working for some people who were doing Teespring before, right? So you
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so Farihan was designing t-shirts for other Teespring sellers back in 2013, I think?
From 2008 to 2014, yeah.
2014, okay. And then, so he was designing shirts for other Teespring sellers and then got interested in Teespring and decided to do his own t-shirts. That's pretty much it, right? Yeah. And then how many shirts did it take you to find your, like how many failures did you have before you found your winning shirts?
Before Papa the Man or before the first campaign?
Yeah, your first campaign that became profitable.
Probably 6 t-shirts. Yeah.
6 t-shirts?
Yeah.
And then you found some profitable?
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, can you just kind of give us like more information about like your first design and the steps that you took, your journey so far?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say good evening, everyone. As Craig has mentioned, my name is Farihan, and this is actually the first time I'm coming out of the closet. Because before this, I'm flying under the radar, and nobody actually knew me, and this is the first time I'm exposing myself, so I'm quite nervous actually, so I'm having spasms. Anyway, yeah. So, my name is Farihan, and I'm 37 years old. I'm a trained graphic designer actually. I'm from Singapore, and I went to a local design school in Singapore. So studied for 3 years. After that, served in the military service. Actually, I was in Thailand 16 years ago for 1 year. I was working here and was living here, so I can speak a bit of Thai, so it's just a bit of background on me. Yeah, so after my military service, I became a graphic designer until 2007. And actually I started a t-shirt business back in 2003. I'm not sure why, but most designers start off selling t-shirts. I think it's one of the protocols or fresh design grads, like, okay, let's do t-shirt. I think it's one of the most more accessible ways to get your design across. However,
when you were doing that was before Teespring, right?
That was in 2003, and back then there wasn't much online marketing done, so all the sales were done offline. So it was quite difficult.
So you had to find a printer, supplier.
The printer, the supplier, and we had to do our own sales. We have to go to, let's say, flea market and trade shows and carnivals, and really push our product out there.
It's a painful experience.
Yes, very much. But it was a learning experience, and we only printed 500 units, and we sold only half. So, needless to say, it was we made a loss during that time. So we closed the business, of course, and whenever we meet my partners outside, we like pretend not to see each other. So I went back to working for other companies like design agency, ad agency, and even printing company. And then, what I did before Teespring is one of the questions that Kim gave me. I did some design services for internet marketers, and I self-taught myself things like affiliate marketing, search engine optimization, SEO, email building, list building, email marketing, and so on. So I had a good grasp of internet marketing before Teespring actually. Yeah, right until 2014, I had a website called Pixel of Genius, and I was offering design services to internet marketers. And I was doing affiliate marketing myself on the sidelines. So a bit of e-commerce, a bit of eBay, a bit of everything. A bit of Amazon also. But back then, Teespring wasn't there yet, right? So now I'm fully fledged on Teespring from 2015 until now.
Okay, great. So, can you tell us about your first campaigns that you tried out and how the whole process went until you found that big campaign, the Papa the Man shirt, and maybe talk about the process around that?
First campaign,
yeah.
Okay, so my first Teespring design. This was back in 2014, very late 2014, just after the Christmas holiday season. Few of my clients were asking me to design the NFL t-shirts. So I think during that time it was quite trending, the NFL, the campaigns, and it was selling quite well, right? Oh, sorry, yeah. So I told my client we shouldn't be doing sports campaign because it's infringing on copyright and trademarks. So we should try to be more creative in that sense. And but it spurred me to take a further peek into Teespring. That's the trigger. So I began to take a look at my clients' campaigns, how they set up their NFL t-shirts, how they set up their fan page, and how they engage their audiences by doing t-shirt contests and giveaways. So that was all done behind the scenes. And I told myself, okay, let's do Teespring because it's my forte. I'm a designer, so why shouldn't I be doing Teespring myself? And and I know a bit of internet marketing. So I told myself, okay, let's dive into, let's say, some a more well-intentioned issues like social issues. So this is the first campaign that I started was stop texting while driving. It's a social issue, and it's something that people might want to help to spread the message.
Was that in the USA? Yeah.
Yes, it was in the US. So this was my first design for Teespring. I tried to be a bit clever, trying to input like witty copywriting, like how I would do an advertising campaign. Like all it takes is just 5 seconds to get distracted, and I use the odometer as the time clock. So, and this is my second design. Stop texting while driving. I'm using all my design knowledge into the first campaign because I really wanted to get it started. And this is the third design. It's a mobile phone in the form of a tombstone, RIP. So I went quite, not say overboard, but I did quite a lot of groundwork on this. So in 2014, before Teespring had the lifestyle images, I was using them on my Facebook page. This is my cover, Facebook cover. And I created the fan page. As you can see, there has been a lot of engagement and comments and about 2,000 likes. And
how many sales?
0 sales.
Why?
So this was, I think, trying to be too clever, I suppose. um, we were still stuck on that mode that we like to do what we want to do, and it's not the case usually. Usually it's about appealing to the mass market. You have to learn your market. You are not your market, right? You don't assume that what I like, the market will like. So that's one of the biggest takeaway from the first campaign.
I think I see a lot of designers do that, right? They fall in love with their own design, and maybe spend too much time on something that they think is beautiful, like an artwork, right? Where it doesn't necessarily have to be a piece of art, you know, it's not a Picasso painting, it's a t-shirt design, right? And you have to have that,
That's true.
the commercial appeal, right, that works for it.
So, Craig asked me when did I tip my first campaign? So after that stop texting while driving campaign, I did 6 more campaigns after that. And thankfully, that campaign, I spent $90 on Facebook. I managed to sell 15 units and $70 profit. At that time, it was first name campaigns. Like I mark, it's a mark thing you wouldn't understand. But like the Facebook representative said just now, we are not supposed to target first names anymore. So that campaign dropped. But that was the first time I tipped the campaign, Teespring campaign. So from January to April, I managed to sell 600 plus units and made a total of $870 in profit. That was 4 months.
How were you feeling at that point? Were you kind of excited? And, yeah?
I knew that something would work because I've been seeing my clients making big money on Teespring. So I asked myself, what am I doing wrong? You know? How can it possible? It's just $870 in 4 months. Yeah. It's not even enough to cover, monthly salary.
Sure.
Yeah. But the turning point was in May 2014. This is not the Papa the Man campaign yet. This was a niche campaign, a fishing t-shirt actually. So that month I make $4,000 in profit. Now I told myself, okay, this could work, right? I went back and studied how my clients or my so-called gurus tell me how to target the interest and so forth. So after that, in 2014, I managed to sell 6,400 units and $27,000 in profit.
Wow! So $27,000 in a year.
Yeah.
On the side.
On the side, yeah.
Okay.
This was before I quit my design services.
Right. Okay. Fantastic.
So this was in 2014. So 2015 is a totally different ball game. That's when Papa the Man came into the picture.
Yeah, okay. Tell us all about that. So, because you did this shirt after Christmas, right? So it was January 2015?
January 2015, yes.
Yeah, okay. So you missed the whole Christmas rush.
True.
Started in January. But you were telling me that you originally started by targeting men, right? Older gentlemen?
Yes, correct.
And then that didn't work at all?
No.
What worked?
Okay. So this is actually started in January 2015 after the Christmas season 2014. During the Christmas season, it was quite an eye-opener because I saw a lot of trending campaigns on Teespring targeting the grandma niche, the Nana, Mimi, what else? And they were doing very well, right? It's a Nana thing you wouldn't understand. It's a Mimi thing you wouldn't understand. So I asked myself, what is it about the women? And surprisingly, I did not see t-shirts targeting the men. Maybe they do, but there wasn't any outstanding ones. So I told myself, okay, this could be an opportunity. But it was after the Christmas season already. So people always keep saying that December is the holy grail of internet marketing or e-commerce. So never mind. So I went back to the drawing board and I searched what are the nicknames given to, let's say, grandfathers apart from grandpa, grams, yeah. So there were a few, papa, papi, paw. Yeah, so I settled on papa, but I wasn't sure about the tagline yet. So what I did was I went to Pinterest. Yeah, that was my research ground. I went to Pinterest, and I'm sure since most of you are power sellers here, in Pinterest there's this sorting tool where you can sort the images by the number of likes and the number of repins. So it's a free tool, but only available in the Chrome browser. So perhaps if you haven't tried that yet, perhaps you could do that. So I was using Pinterest and I was looking for funny quotes or funny father quotes. And then it came out a list of all the quotes for father and grandfather. So I saw the tagline, and it was really well liked on Pinterest. It wasn't a meme, an image quote. It wasn't even a t-shirt yet. Probably there are already people who have done this tagline on a t-shirt, but back then I only saw the tagline on an image, text image. So, okay, I told myself, let's try something simple, something that people can read from far, something classy. And yeah, so this is how it came about. Well, it's not really an award-winning design, to be honest. It's basically text and there's a two-color design. This sparked the sales for some reason. So I was telling Criag yesterday, after I came out with this t-shirt, I straight away went to Facebook and I targeted senior men, let's say age 65 and above, and I layered the interests. I think parents, layered with married with kids. So married and with kids. There was quite a sizable audience for that interest. So I tried spending about $25 to $30 for the first day, first 3 days actually. And I told Criag yesterday, there were click-throughs, there were comments, there were likes, but zero sales. I was like, okay, I took a seat back and I asked myself, are you sure? Am I sure this is going the right way? So what I did was I went back to Facebook, and this is the thing that I want to convey. What I did was I targeted the women instead. I did a reverse targeting. Instead of men, I target the same age group, same interests, but the women. And I changed the copy ad. So instead of, are you papa? I would say something like, would you buy this gift for your papa? So it's a question and it invites social engagement. People who tend to answer, let's say, yes, that means two things. It qualifies them as a prospect. Because once you ask, would you buy this gift for your papa? That means, number one, they have a papa in their life, you know? And number two, they are the type who buys gift for their family members. And that age group, 65 plus, you would think that 65 plus are not tech savvy, are not online shoppers, but you would be wrong. In fact, they were the ones who started to buy this t-shirt. And the sales for that particular age group went through the roof. My ROI, my return of investment was 300%, which means I spend $1 and I get $3 back. $3 in profit back. So damn, okay. So I told my partner, let's put in some more money into this. At that time I had about 5,000 in my PayPal in reserves. So okay, let's try this age group, 65 plus, and scale up the budget. But we did not scale up per ad campaign, per ad set. We duplicate the ad set with smaller budgets. So at one point of time, I could have run like 200 ad sets with a budget of, let's say, $25. And that was, at the time, I only had, my spend limit on Facebook was only $750. So I was spending it consistently. And within 1 or 2 weeks, Facebook increased my ad limit, my spend limit. They allowed me to spend $5,000 a day. So, yeah. So that's what I did. I spent, I think I targeted a Papanich, senior man, married with kids, 0 sales. So I reversed the targeting, I reversed the woman instead. So 300% ROI. So that's when I started to scale big. But once I started to scale big, my ROI dropped to 100%. But that's not the issue here. The issue, 100% is still good, right? You spend $1, you get $1 profit back. Even physical business, brick and mortar business would die for 100% ROI. I think they could live with 20% ROI. For us, the amazing thing about this spring business, it allows us to have this kind of unspeakable ROI. So while I was spending like $5,000 a day, my ROI maintained 96 to 100%. Yeah, ROI dropped. But like I said, I was running about 200 ad sets at once.
And how long were you doing this for? Over what period of time?
Actually for 1 year, 1 full year,
Wow.
2015.
Okay.
Right until the end of Christmas 2015. And surprisingly, my sales dropped during Christmas period.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The sales peaked in May 2015, yeah. During the, sometime before summer, I suppose, when people are starting to wear t-shirts for the hotter season. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think the other point is, I did a lot of retargeting campaigns, which means I recycled the custom audience, and I retarget them again and again, and also to exclude those people who have bought, like I think Dan or Bean mentioned. We keep showing it to new audiences, and I think I mentioned also to Bean that for this campaign we broke a lot of rules. We, instead of targeting very specific interests, for after a few months it starts to get saturated. Not saturated, it starts to get stifling. So what I did was, I opened up the audience. I began to target a very big audience. Like, I didn't even have any interest. It was just women 45 to 54, probably interest in wrestling. It was very random, or motorbikes. And I was just targeting women who buy gifts for their husband. And it wasn't just targeted to grandfathers, but also to fathers. So I bring down the age group further, 35 to 44. And then I open up again the interest. Actually, no interest. I break up into 200 ad sets. So which ones? The ones that are not performing, I'll just throw away, discard, delete. The ones that are performing with high conversion rates, I'll just duplicate the ads. And then, that's how I scale big. During the time, I think that time it works. But I'm not so sure about 2016 because Facebook did a lot of changes to their algorithm and the conversion pixel. So it may not work now, we may need a different strategy. But I'm just sharing what works back then. Yeah. So until the campaign is still active till now, until today, just got 4 sales yesterday. Thanks to Teespring retargeting and marketplace organic sales. So the current total is 62,340 units. I think if you do the math, it comes down to a gross revenue of $1.2 million. And yeah, I don't copy this campaign. No, I'm joking. It's not because I'm afraid of competition, but the campaign has been copied to death. Like there are so many iterations of the campaign, whether it's just the tagline alone being done in a different format or wholesale, they copied wholesale. I mean, I don't mind being copied because it's not a copyright, a trademark tagline, but just come up with a new design.
Do you wish that you protected it?
Maybe on hindsight, yeah, but it is alright for me. I mean, you just have to constantly innovate because I think a product will reach its shelf life every 2-3 years. I mean, even Apple itself is coming out with new iPhones every 2 or 3 years. So I think it's the same thing with us, with t-shirt marketeers. We still need to constantly innovate.
Keep your audience engaged, right?
Yes,
With new, fresh content
yes.
and products.
Yes, that's right.
Cool. So, I mean, obviously that was your huge success, and how has that changed your life? I mean, it must have had a pretty profound effect, right?
Yeah, like I told Dan, I got a bit lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the good thing is, I managed to so-called quit my design business, and now I'm focusing fully on Teespring, and I'm able to do some of the things like, let's say, travel and then write my books. In fact, my biggest month for Papa the Man was in May 2015. That was when I was traveling to Europe. I was traveling to London, Paris, and Amsterdam, and I wasn't really paying attention to what's happening in the background. But every morning I would wake up early. I'll set up my ads because London is 6 hours, 7 hours here from the US, right? So I'll set up my ads and then I'll go for my tour. And I come back and I check my sales. Oh, okay, still running, still converting at about 97 to 100%. So, and that was the biggest month that I spent on Facebook and the biggest month that I grossed in revenue, 150,000, I think. Yeah.
$150,000 while you were traveling.
Yes, for 3
seeing
weeks.
Europe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you ask me what changed, yeah, that's one of the. That's one of the biggest thing, and the good thing is I don't have to travel with my laptop and and answer customer service emails and check on my staff. It was a liberating experience for the last 2 years.
Just focus on the design and the advertising and the sales part of things, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yep, that's what Teespring's all about, basically.
Teespring will change your life.
Cool. Did you have a picture of did you insert that slide?
Yeah.
Do you want to show that one? So that's Farihan's dashboard. Do you want to go back?
Yeah, this is my during the travels to London and Paris and Amsterdam.
Right. Can you show everyone your dashboard again?
Really?
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah, this is just a screenshot which I took last night. This is my current dashboard, not to show off, but just to inspire everyone here. I'm aware that most of you guys here are power sellers as well. But yeah, this is Papa the Man makes up about 30% of my total sales. So I had about 97,000 units sold. Papa the Man makes up about 60% of it.
That's fantastic. You're getting close to me, to my number.
Really?
No, I wish.
100,000.
Yeah. Testing. No, that's fantastic, Bahran. So huge congratulations to you, and very well deserved. I think from your story, you could have easily given up after the third, fourth campaign and said, "Oh, this isn't working." You could have given up when you you targeted the men and nobody bought, but you had the kind of courage and the insights and the sort of how do you say the wisdom to try and change it up a little bit, little changes like that, and it's obviously worked fantastically for you. So I hope everybody here can kind of pick up on some of those key things that helped Farihan to be successful, and hopefully it works for you guys one day, and hopefully you guys have that sort of success. Is there any questions for Farihan? Nope? Okay, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Cool. What do we have next, Bridget?
I think that's it.
Yeah, we're done?
I think we're done, right, Kim? Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. I know it was a day with a lot of information from start to finish, so props to everyone for sticking through. And we will follow up after the event with the presentations and with some more information for newbies on how to get started, and some special information for everyone here today about what's coming up in the next couple months with Teespring. All right, so yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and we can mingle, and I think there's a dinner event too.
Yeah, I mean we're around as well, so if anyone has questions, please feel free to come and ask us anything. But yeah, great meeting all of you, and thank you so much for coming. Thanks for Kim for organising as well.
Should we try to take a group picture?
Group picture?
Does everyone want to come up on the stage and we'll take a group picture?
Good idea.